And, most importantly, retain model intelligence from concept to construction. BIM provides insight into a design's constructability, improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the construction phase, and also providing a better understanding of the building's future operations and maintenance. Owners can use BIM for predictive maintenance, asset tracking, and facilities management, and for future renovation or deconstruction projects. Construction phase, and also providing a better understanding of the building's future operations and maintenance.
Alright, so hello everyone and welcome again to our free online lesson, which is for this topic. For today's topic, we are covering related to Inventor. Okay, so this one we are focused on Inventor CAM Millturn. So I introduce myself first. My name is Shafiq Farhan, okay, as a product manager, design and manufacturing, focused on manufacturing industry, okay, from Acadsystems. Right, so without wasting time, so I go a little bit to our website to give you overview on what we are focusing about. Okay, this will be our topics for today, which is we want to do a Millturn and make sure that you share this link, okay, to other people. Then we will make sure that other people also can learn how Inventor CAM Millturn can be done. All right, so for my first presentation, okay, so I want to give a little bit overview on my Inventor CAM. So basically, what is a CAM? CAM. CAM stands for Computer Aided Manufacturing, which we are using one software to control and to monitor our machine later on. So manufacturing process. So that will be what is the definition of CAM. Right. So I will show you a little bit few types of milling, so a few types of CNC process, manufacturing process. The first one is a 2D milling. Okay, throughout software later, you can do 2D milling, which is you work into a XY axis. Okay, for the second thing is about 3D milling. Okay, so for example, you are working with something that have curve or some not regular shapes, so that you require a 3D axis or more than that, 3+2 axis milling. Okay, so that will be the second things that you can be done using CNC. Okay, the third thing is about turning. Turning means you have to lock one side and then need to make sure that the spindle is spin. Okay, and the tools will cut from the side. So that will be how turnings work. And the last one is a Millturn. Millturn is combination between mill and also turning. So that will be the things type of CNC. They will have a lot more, which is 3+2 machine, 5-axis machine, and some cases you might be dealing with a 4-axis and 6-axis machine. Okay, they have a lot more type of machines, right? So before I start into my slide presentation in detail, so I would like to thank everyone that joined. Okay, thanks Chi, thanks Mashardi, and also thank Danish that joined us from our Zoom meeting from our link that we are published on our website. Okay, for those that join us from our YouTube, if you have any question, okay, you can drop us a chat. Okay, for our Zoom meeting, you just type into a chat button here. Right, so I just give you. All right, and for those that join us from YouTube, make sure that you just drop a chat later on there. Okay, so our learning objective for today, we are focused on creating Millturn simulation, right? So for Millturn, before we start, if you are trying or if you plan to follow what I'm trying to do, or after this you want to review this video, okay, to download the empty model, you can go to this link. Okay, https A360, and make sure that you follow all capital letter. For example, here 3EQ capital S capital V9I. Okay, so just follow this link, okay, to download the model. So later we will do the same model and you can exercise, you can practice by your own. Okay, before you start, make sure that when you go to your software, okay, so this will be Inventor 2021 Inventor Professional 2021 interface, make sure that you have this tab, CAM tab. Okay, then if you don't have this CAM tab, you can go to your Autodesk portal, manage.autodesk.com, and download. Make sure you install first before you use this CAM. Right, so without wasting a time, our objective today is to create a Millturn in MM. So to do Millturn, so you will see this one, you will see turning and also 2D and 3D milling over here. Right, so 2D and 3D milling over here. So I have one request that I can post. Right, so for those that join us from our Zoom channel, I have give the link and you can download the link directly. And if you plan to go with me, come with me to do it together, then you just download and do it. Okay, so without wasting, you can see in CAM tab 2D milling and also turning. Okay, at start, before you start anything, you need to do some setup for your 3D CNC. Okay, how to do setup? You just need to click on this button, setup. Okay, by default, you will get this rectangular box stop. So the one we call it as a stop. Okay, if you want to change into a circular or you just want to change into the type of machine, so the first things from milling, you need to change into a turning or Millturn. Then you will see your stop will become something look like this. Right, so for this case, I want to put the direction starting from here. Okay, if you plan to change into another location, for example, you want to change on this side. Okay, what you need to do, you just need to click on this Z-axis, click on the face. Right, so again, click on the face. Okay, over here. So for example, this line. Click again and click on this face, or you can also click on here. Okay, so on here. Right, so that will be example. So but if you require this manual setup that I have set for you, so you just use turn and you just use this one, turning or milling. Okay, and then the spindle type you can choose, either you want to use as a primary spindle or a secondary spindle. Okay, spindle is the where you chop or you lock your stock later on. Okay, for this case, I want, for my idea, I want to cut into two sections. The first section is the left side, okay, over here to here, and the right side. Okay, I want to cut into two sections of process. Okay, and after you're done with setting all these things, you need to click on the model. Make sure that you click this model. Okay, change to stock, and this stock, if you require your object starting from a very solid box, solid cylinder, then you just need to choose either box or cylinder or tube. Or if this object already done from, for example, you already create this one using a die cast, so you can use from solid. Okay, then need to click solid. Okay, to make it more interesting, so I just change here to a fixed size cylinder. Okay, and also you can put a clearance of your object. Okay, so by default, if you purchase a cylinder, you can purchase at 90 mm diameter cylinder. Okay, it's quite possible to for you to find 98, for example, 58 mm. Okay, so 58 mm cylinder is quite hard to find. So if you can only get a 60 mm, then you just proceed with 60 mm cylinder over here. Right, so setup done, hit OK. So now you can set up, and this setup I can change the setup for first one, which is a primary spindle. First done. Okay, if I have two process, then I can set up two times, primary and secondary. Okay, but before I go set up the secondary one, make sure that I create all the things inside here first. New folder. Okay, the first folder I want to make it as a turning process. Turning process. And another folder, which is here, I want to make it as a milling process. Okay, for turning and milling process. So means turning, I just need to choose all these things, all features that included in turning, while by milling, I just choose all here. So this will be easy, will make sure that your job more easy. And also you can do your post-processor is faster by using this method. Then you create a folder over here. Okay, so the sequence of the job for this type of shape. Okay, so before I go into this type of shape, let me give you the better idea on how turning done. Okay, for profile turning, okay, profile means you need to do something like this. You want to make it your tools start from this left to right. Same goes to finishing profile. Okay, for roughing, if you have a good stock of solid stock, you need to do roughing first. Roughing means you cut whatever area that you don't require. Okay, means you try to eliminate all the things first before you do finishing. So for roughing, so I give you example for this case. I do profile roughing. Okay, so for this case, front will be at this area for this second item, which is geometry, and my back will be at this selection face. So I give you on this view, front and back. And after you're done with this thing, you can directly go to radius to change the clearance, this one if required. If not, you just need to go to this one, which is passes, to change the depth cut. This will be how profile works. Okay, so for this case, I want to make it the profile as 10 mm and just need to make it hit OK. Okay, so for profile tools, I need to use this one. I cannot use a grooving and also a threading tools. So I need to use this type of tools. So this one, general tooling, hit OK. So after done, the software will help me to generate this thing, this line. Right, so to make it my profile or my line more detailed, so I just need to get back on here, right click, edit, change, go to the passes again, change the depth of cut to another value which is more small, the smaller value, 5. Hit OK. Then you see the difference between 10 mm and also 5 mm. That will be the idea on how roughing done. Okay, after you're done with this thing, you want to create a finishing, you just need to click again on this finish, profile finish, same method like the previous one, same method like roughing, but the difference, you cannot change the size, we call it as depth of cut, because this one only one way movement, only. Okay, so for this case, I want to make it here, step over, I want to change into 0.2. Okay, number of step over 1, and then just hit OK. So what happened to my product? So my product will be look something like this if I do simulation. Simulate and can play these things. So they have some error, but this one is okay, no problem. Okay, later you can see the outcome of my design. So I set the stock as a transparent. So for this case, the profile directly cut. For roughing, we cut one by one. Okay, so for profile finishing, I can do it straightforward to cut it at the very detailed angle that I want, very detailed edge that I want. So that will be how turning works. Right, so without wasting, just go to here, back to our main objective, which is this one, turning process. Okay, for this process, we will start with one by one, which is this area first, because in certain cases, you need to have a very clear and very sharp, very straight face. So now we need to do, we call it as a face turning. Okay, click on this face turning. Okay, select a tools. So for this face turning, I just need to choose this type of tools. All right, so this type of tools. And here, by default, this tool is starting from here. If you want to change the orientation of these tools, later I show on how to edit the setup again. Okay, so over here, I want to change here the model front. So I just need to go to here, okay, and do the selection to this face, directly to this face. Okay, and then hit OK. So this first process will bring you something like this. Will cut you something like this. So I give you show transparent and play again. So now you see that the tools will go to here and here. Okay, and then the next process, which is you can do roughing, because roughing you need to set a little bit more job. So I just go with this thing, which is grooving on this area. Okay, groove means you want to focus on a specific area only. Okay, for this case, for this grooving, single grooving, so you can use this groove. But the problem is when you use this groove, you need to set the front and also the back manually. If you want to make it a single groove, you just need to click on this turning button, down menu, single groove. Click and then choose here directly. Single groove position to here. Okay, so the groove, if you want to set as a back or middle or front, just change to here, and then you can hit OK. So but before you hit OK, you need to choose the tools properly, because this one is a grooving process. You can choose this type of turning grooving, 10 mm diameter. Select OK. Okay, the second process also done, which is this one, grooving. So what happened to my model if I do simulation? So this groove will be something like this. Okay, so I just try to zoom out. The tools go there and just directly cut into that position. So that's how groove done. Okay, so you can make as detailed as you want. If you plan to create all the things using groove, also no problem. Click on this groove. Okay, directly choose and make sure that you choose the front here and also the model back as a selection to this edge. And then what will happen? Okay, because you have some cases here quite complicated to do, so you cannot generate it. So I just need to edit again to another position, which is on here, and then hit OK. Right? Okay, so that will be the method on how you do a groove and also how you do a single groove. Okay, but for this case, it's a little bit complicated because the shape is something like this. Okay, which is we need to do in a Millturn. Okay, so after you're done with this process, you can arrange all the things by drag into a turning process. Okay, so now you can hide everything. So go to our next step, which is our milling process. For our milling process, first step, I want to create this ball. Okay, for this ball, you can use either 2D milling or 3D milling. But for this case, I just go to this 2D milling. Okay, 2D milling, click on this ball. Right, so ball, they have two types. Either you create a ball inside or you create a ball outside. So for this case, I want to create this ball as an inside things, which is I just need to choose first circular reference, which is this area. Circular face selection, which is this area. Okay, optimize order. And also I can set the front and end. Okay, so for this case, I can set also the front and end. The clearance and also the retract. Top height and also the bottom height. For this case, I want to make it manual. Everything I want to make it manual here, I just need to go to selection. Bottom, I want to change to this face. while my top I want to change into this face. Right? So clear. So tools, go back to this first tab, which is tools. I need to choose this number 8 tools, which is 8 mm flat. Okay, to create a bore, you cannot use a drill because drill have a sharp edge of tools. Okay, to create a bore, you need to use a flat mill tools. Click here and then hit number 8. Sorry, number 9, 8 mm flat. Hit select. So this will be the tools for you. Okay, after you're done with this second things, you just need to click on these parsers. Okay, so now you can change the composition type. So in computer, it will be look like this. Okay, when you use where also just look like, same look like, but if you want to change to outside, you just need to change from here to in control. Okay, so change from in computer to in control. From here, in computer to in control. So now you can see over here. If you plan to make it, this area have some stock to live. Stock to live, we call it as a area that you want to leave it here. Maybe you want to make it a second process on here. So we call it as stock to live. So you just need to click here only on this button, stock to live, and set how many mm distance that you want to leave it there. So if you directly want to straightforward cut, you need to untick over here. Okay, in some cases, you need to tick stock to live because you need to have a second process. Okay, to make it a very detailed, very good finish, so you need to do stock to live. So for this case, I want to make it this process directly as a finished process. So just need to tick on here, finish passes. Okay, for my finish passes, change to 0.2 mm, and it will make another 0.2 mm cut directly to the face. Okay, if I change the value from 0.2 to 1 mm, what happened? The distance between these two will a little bit more bigger. The gap will be, the offset of this, we call it as a 3D line to the face is more bigger. So for my case, I want to make it as a 0.2 mm. Right, so after you're done with the bore, you just can hit OK. So bore also you can drag and insert into this milling process. Okay, so you just need to hit. Okay, so this will be turning process, this will be the milling process. Okay, if you plan to do a drill, okay, but the problem is when you see your drawing, okay, when you try to do half section cut or something on your model, so what you see, you will see this thing. So half section cut. Okay, so you will see a little bit different from here. This first view and second view. Okay, the first view, if you do drilling, okay, for this one, you need to use a drill tools. But if you use this one, you need to use as a flat mill tools. Because flat mill have a flat surface of the bottom. Okay, so for this case, what I want to do, I just need to add object again. Go back to my CAM. Okay, for this first area over here, I want to use as a drill. Click on here, drill, select a tools. So make sure that I choose not a flat one. I just choose this one, 5 mm spot drill, for example, or 5 mm tap, or 4.2 mm with this sharp angle. Okay, for this case, I use number 4, which is 590 spot drill. So hit select and directly go to this hole. Okay, so over here you can change the location of your second object, which is here, retract, and also your bottom hole you want to put a little bit deeper, so change on here, add some offset. So for this case, I just add 0.2 mm offset. Okay, so over here you see that a bit different size. So later you can change directly your tools. So I hit OK first. Okay, when I hit OK, so what happened? I already create this one, the drill one. Okay, so in certain cases, you want to make it, for example, I give you example, if your part is creating by using we call it as a plastic, you need to get the idea something like this. For example, I do again this one, and I choose the tools, and I use this one 4 mm flat. Okay, and click on this 1 and 2, and also this one 3. Okay, 4 mm. So, but the problem is, I want to make it. I just want to make it this object keep repeat in and out at one time. Okay, no need to do one by one. So what I can do at this area cycle, I can change it to chip breaking, partial retract. Okay, in this area, if you try to change this value 0.5, okay, what will happen on your drawing letter? So this will be something like this. Chip breaking, you can see something like this. Simulate. Right? So what will happen basically, the tools is go in and out at one same time, because you want to make sure that you cut a chip and bring the chip out first before you cut the hole more deeper. Right? So that will be the idea on all the things here. Okay, after you're done with primary and secondary, for example, here I already done with my primary spindle, and I just need to create a new setup for a secondary, and the process will be the same. Just need to view from here. The process will be the same. Okay, so over here you can also use a pocket and so on. So for this case, I want to use a 2D pocket. Okay, I just want to click on here. Okay, this 2D pocket, and I want to change the tool orientation from here. Okay, tool orientation directly from here and hit OK. Okay, what will happen on this my 2D pocket? It will be something like this. Okay, so the tools will come directly here, 2D pocket. Right, so primary and secondary directly. So if you already done with all the things and you're confident, or you want to check, you can go to this button, browse example, and open this one, benchmark Millturn MM with this one. Okay, what you can see later, you will see this thing, the primary, the turning process, the Millturn process, the Millturn radial, and so on. Okay, if you want to study or check what the software have done, because when you install the CAM, you will get this type of example. Okay, but the link that I give you is an empty one. You can practice by your own. Right? So if after you're done with your process, everything, you want to create a post processor, what you need to do, you just need to right click, post process. Okay, for example, I do for my turning only. Okay, for this case, I want to do this thing, this turning. Post process. So I choose a turning machine only. Okay, so by default, I change the location of object, location of the folder. Okay, this will be the turning machine that I have by default. So, and click process. So I just rename it as a turning. Okay, and then the software will directly bring for you to this post-process view. Okay, and if you plan to view the process, you just need to click on this back plot, click on this area and view solid animation. Okay, solid animation. So this will be the process one by one in a 3D view. Okay, hope clear. Okay, if you plan to create, because when you go to here, when you try to do post process again, okay, you want to change from all to Millturn, you don't have any configuration available. So that will be the issue. Okay, how to download and how to install, you can go to this link. cam.autodesk.com/sm post. So I will share into the link at chat. Okay, or I will just go through to the link first. So this will be the link that I share to you. Okay, so what you need to do, you just need to change this type to Millturn and download all the post processor. And after that, you can directly post process all your item, all your simulation. So that will be how. Okay, I have downloaded a few things, which is the first one. Okay, I have downloaded into my specific folder, which is download folder. Okay, and then I have a lot of post configuration that I have downloaded. And what you need to do, you just need to click. Okay, for example, I try to use this one, Mazak, because I know Mazak have problem. Hit OK, post processor, Mazak, and what will happen? You cannot read all these things because currently this post processor have issue. You need to do some manual edit on manual configuration of this post process. Right, so that will be the things that I want to share for today. Okay, I just want to invite you, everyone, to go to our, we call it our YouTube channel, Acadsystems. You just need to type in Acadsystems Sunan Berhad. Okay, currently we do this live, and just make sure that you subscribe and also click on this ring bell. Okay, if you have any question, you can type in at our YouTube channel, or if you want to call us, make sure that you go to our website. This will be our KL and also Penang number. Right, so thanks everyone for joining our free online lesson, and I wish you everyone stay safe. And yeah, I also want to wish a happy Raya to every Muslim that will celebrate next week, because this will be my last FOL for this Ramadan. And if you have anything that you want to call me or you want to contact with me, you just can email me at shafiqfarhan@acadsystems.com. Right, so I will end this session. Thank you everyone for joining our free online lesson now for today. Okay, bye bye.